That extraordinary moment late today, the first moment of real hope and relief amid the darkness of these past 2 weeks. 2 Americans, a mother and daughter held hostage by Hamas, have now been released tonight. A mother and daughter from Evanston, Illinois, near Chicago. Judith Renan and her daughter Natalie, who is 17, are now both free tonight. They were in Israel visiting Natalie's grandmother for her 85th birthday when the terrorists broke in. That 17-year-old had texted family about the militants outside, that they were going to try to protect themselves in the safe room, that they could hear the shooting. But the terrorists got in and kidnapped them and took them to Gaza. Now, 14 days later, this image tonight. Just moments after they arrived back in Israel, 17-year-old Natalie there on the left, her 59-year-old mother, Judith. In the middle there, that's Israel's chief hostage negotiator. We learned a short time ago President Biden has spoken with the mother and daughter, offering the full support of the U.S. government as they recover now. The president tonight still hoping for the safe return of the other Americans being held and, of course, all of the hostages. Hamas holding more than 200 hostages in all. The American mother and daughter from the Chicago area, this image of them right after Natalie's high school graduation. She's about to celebrate her 18th birthday next week. And this unbelievable turn tonight. They are safe. Their family has them back. Now, the hope for all of the other families waiting, praying, and hoping too. ABC's chief foreign correspondent Ian Pannell leading us off from Israel tonight.
Tonight, after 14 days of agony in Gaza, 2 American hostages freed and back in Israel. Hamas releasing this new video showing 59-year-old Judith Renan and her 17-year-old daughter Natalie as they were handed over to the Red Cross in Gaza, the pair looking shattered and shocked. And Israel releasing this image, taken just moments after they stepped back across the border into freedom. The mother and daughter clutching the hands of Gal Hirsch, the man in the middle, the Israeli Prime Minister's appointed hostage negotiator. They were in Israel visiting Natalie's grandmother to celebrate her 85th birthday at Kibbutz Nahal Oz, just a half mile from the Gaza Strip when the Hamas terror attack unfolded. They apparently tried to lock themselves in a safe room as militants stormed in and abducted them. The last time the family heard from them was right after the attack began. Natalie texting her family back home that she could hear shooting, saying, "We love you all, but we're okay." ABC News learning the Red Cross going to get them inside Gaza, bringing them to the border with Israel and handing them over to the Israeli military, who took them first to a military base and then to be reunited with the family.
Over the coming hours, they'll receive any support and assistance they need. We welcome their release. We share in the relief that their families, friends, and loved ones are feeling.
No word on how many Americans are still being held by Hamas, but the Secretary of State saying at least 10 more Americans remain unaccounted for. The Gulf nation of Qatar was critical to their release, saying in their own statement that the breakthrough came after many days of continuous communication between all the parties involved. And tonight in Evanston, the family's rabbi saying the release of Judith and Natalie is overwhelming.
We need to be there for them because they've gone through the most evil period of their life, and we will be there for them.
It's a major development and a potential breakthrough in the race to get the more than 200 hostages taken by Hamas, Israelis, Americans and other foreign nationals released. It could potentially put pressure on Israel from the US and other allies whose citizens are held to pause its plans for a possible ground invasion of Gaza. Hamas claiming in a statement they released the 2 Americans for humanitarian reasons. Earlier this week, Hamas indicated it might be prepared to release all foreign nationals if, quote, conditions allowed, but not Israelis. Today, Israel releasing new information about the remaining hostages, saying most are alive and more than 20 of them are children. And tonight, here in Tel Aviv, a haunting Friday night Sabbath dinner for the remaining hostages. 200 empty seats, one for each of those now missing from the family table.
And so let's bring in Ian Pannell with us live tonight from Tel Aviv. And Ian, of course, that image late today, the first image of the freed American hostages, mother and daughter there, Judith and Natalie Renan from Chicago. Can't even imagine the level of relief, the level of joy for that family in the Chicago area tonight and those loved ones in Israel for them as well. And of course, you know, as we're on the air tonight, we're thinking about all of these families of the remaining hostages, and it certainly gives them all new hope tonight. I'm sure, Ian, urgency too. So what could this mean for this potential ground invasion that Israel has been readying for? I'm sure all of these families still waiting are hoping nothing is done here if there's a chance that their loved ones can get out too.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, David. I think to answer that question, you've got to ask, why did Hamas make this gesture, clearly aimed at America and President Biden? Now, what they've said on the record is that they want an end to the bombing and to swap Israeli soldiers they're holding for their own prisoners in Israel. I think that's an impossible sell. But Israel, as you said, may now be under pressure to hang fire on this expected ground war into Gaza, or at least moderate its plans, because America and all those other countries with people being held tonight will now want more time to get all their hostages home. And tonight was a glimmer of hope that perhaps that might now be possible. David?
Yeah, and the real hope that the other hostages are still alive. Ian Pannell leading us off here tonight. Ian, thank you. As we reported there at the top, President Biden speaking with the American mother and daughter who were released today. So let's get right to our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, with us tonight as well. And Mary, what more have you learned about the call?
Well, David, the president speaking with the Renans just a short while ago, offering them the full support of his administration as they recover from this horrific ordeal. The president today saying he's overjoyed at their release. He has made clear this is his top priority, saying he's been working around the clock on this. And today he also thanked the governments of Israel and Qatar for helping to get these Americans out. Now, the president is still working to try and get humanitarian aid into Gaza. And today I pressed him on when this is finally going to happen. The president telling me he believes the first 20 aid trucks will roll into Gaza in the next 24 to 48 hours. David.
Mary Bruce at the White House for us tonight as well. Mary, thanks to you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.